Hello students, this is Vaishali Korea and in this video we'll continue our discussion on one-dimensional array. Uh, the In the previous video we had discussed that there are many applications where this array concept can be used, right? Where you want to store the list of numbers, list of names and many more. Okay. Now the frequent operation that can be performed on the array is searching and sorting. If you want to find a particular element from the given list, then this is called searching the element, whether particular value is present in the list or not. So that is searching operation, and that can be performed on the array. Okay. Sorting is the another process where you want to arrange the element in a particular order, like in the ascending order or the descending order, based on their value. So sorting is the process of arranging the elements in the list according to their values in ascending order or descending order. A sorted list is also called an ordered list. Okay, so that can also be possible to apply on the array. Okay, so now we'll understand the sorting operation on the integer array, right? So here aim is given that we want to sort the roll numbers enrolled for AWS Academy in ascending order. Means in one particular university, suppose many academics are offered, like AWS, CCNA, Red Hat, right? And student can take any academy. Student can register in any of that, any one academy. Okay, so there is a list of the roll numbers which have been enrolled in a particular academy. So we have to sort the numbers, roll numbers that has been enrolled for this AWS Academy. Okay, so for this particular application, what can be the input? So the input can be list containing 5 integer numbers. Those integer numbers represents the roll numbers enrolled for the academic AWS. Now input list is in the random order. Okay, and in the output we want all the numbers in ascending order. Okay, so this is the application that you want to implement. Now here obviously we do not require to store only one number. We want to require the roll numbers of all the students who have registered for the AWS Academy, right? So for that we require a list, and when there is a list required, we have to use the array concept. Okay, so we'll see step by step that how this application can be implemented. So this is the first step. First step is we have to declare an array. Okay, now from the definition that we had seen earlier, right, data type has been specified that we want to store the roll numbers in integer format. So data type is integer. We have taken the name of the array as AWS and the maximum size is 15, right? So the capacity for this academy is 15. So maximum 15 students can be enrolled. So here the array is declared and this is the memory impact. All the elements are returned. First element is AWS 0 and last element is AWS 14. So total 15 elements. These are the memory addresses that if the memory allocation has been started from 100, then the next element would be at 102, then next is at the 104, like this, right? Because it is integer and we have assumed that integer is taking 2 bytes to store the value in memory. Okay, and here in this place we can place the actual value of the element. Okay, so this is the first step. Now here in the next step, we have taken one scanf. Okay, and in the scanf we are just asking the user to enter the size of the array. So size of the array is already mentioned 15, then why again the user has to enter this? So this is because here we have declared the array of the maximum size. But suppose I want to run this program for 5 students, 10 students, right? It is possible that all the students have not been enrolled in this academy, only 5 or 10 students have enrolled. Okay, so we may not have entire 15 roll numbers, we may have 4, 5, 6, any number of elements, right? So at runtime, we can decide the size of the array for which we want to execute the program. Okay, so that size is entered here using the scanf. right? So we have to print the appropriate message first, that enter the size of the array, and then we have to use the scanf to take the value from the user. Okay. Now suppose user have entered 5 at the place of this size. Okay, so total 5 values we want to enter. So obviously if we want to take the value at runtime, we have to use the scanf. Okay, and we want to take 5 values, so scanf should be executed 5 times. So that's why it has been written inside the for loop. Okay, so the first value that we enter, it should stored in AWS 0. So we have started I with 0, and here we have specified AWS I with the address of operator. So the first value entered by the user 35 would get stored in AWS 0. The next value when I becomes 1, right? So the next value that entered by the user will get stored in AWS 1. Like this, we have total 5 values. Okay, and the remaining locations are empty. So actually this form wastes the memory, but still if we want some flexible programming, then this can be used. Okay, if we do not know at compile time, right, that how many elements will be required for execution of the program, then this kind of structure can be used. Okay, now in the next step what we'll do, using this we have entered the size, and using this for loop with scanf, we have entered the elements of the array. These are the roll numbers of the students who have enrolled for the AWS Academy. Okay, now we will print this list. Okay, so here we have written roll numbers enrolled for AWS course are, and then we have used the for loop. As we are not going to print one value, we have to print total 5 values which are stored in AWS 0, 1, 2, 3 like this. Okay, so we are using for loop here, and here %d AWS I. So here all the roll numbers are printed as it is. Okay, now here what happens, up to this we have seen that the roll numbers are printed. Okay, now here another message has been printed. Roll numbers enrolled for AWS course are in sorted form, and then we have used the for loop, same for loop, right, to print the values of array elements. So here you can see the values 35, 30, which are same as the previous for loop. Okay, because what we had done here, we have written the message that the following values will be in the sorted order, but we have not applied any logic to sort the numbers in ascending order. Okay, so this is your for loop for printing the array elements before sorting, and this may be the for loop for printing the array elements after sorting. Okay, so what we need to do in between this, here we have to write the logic, right? We have to write the logic of the sorting, so that after that logic's execution, when we use this for loop to print the array elements, it will be in the sorted form. Okay, so we'll see that what logic we can write here. Okay, so this is the logic, okay, that has been written in between these two for loops to print the array elements. Okay, now when you apply this logic and see the output, then this is the output before sorting, and this is the output after sorting. Okay, that means that this logic is working fine. Okay, so now we will see this logic in detail. Okay, so this is how we can arrange our numbers in ascending order. Okay, so we have to take this 5 elements and we have to sort it into the ascending order. Okay, so general mechanism is what that we had applied here. We have to take the first element. The first element is stored in this AWS of 0 element. Okay, and then we have to compare this element with the remaining elements, like 35 and 30 would get compared. Okay, and if the first element is greater than the next element, then we have to perform the swapping. Okay, because in ascending order the minimum element would be at the top, right? So what we need to do, we have to check the two elements, first and second. Okay, first one is greater than second one, so we have to apply the logic of swapping, right? So 30 would be placed here and 35 would be here. Okay, the same thing will be repeated. First element and the third element will get compared, right? So here no swapping is required because first element is already less than the third element. Okay, same way the first element would again be compared with the fourth element. So general logic is what? General logic is take the first element, compare with all the elements, okay, and if the first element is greater than the second element or third or fourth, then you have to perform the swapping. Okay, after completion of this, take the second element and compare with the remaining three elements, and if that element is greater than the next one, then apply the swapping. And in the third pass also you have to take the third element and compare it with the remaining two elements. So this is the logic that we had applied here. Okay, so here you can see this is the value, these are the values of I and these are the values of AWS array. Okay, now here you can see that the first for loop which executes from I is equal to 0 to I less than size, means it will execute it 5 times 0 to 4, okay, for all the elements. Okay, and this is the inner for loop. Inner for loop will execute from the very next element I plus 1 up to the size. Okay, now you know that inner for loop will be executed until this condition becomes false, right? And when the completion of the and after the completion of the inner for loop, the value of I will get incremented, and again the inner for loop's execution would get started. Okay, so if we see the first pass or the first iteration of the outer loop, okay, what happens? Value of I is equal to 0 and value of j would be 1. Condition is true, j is less than 4, means 1 is less than 4, and the AWS I and AWS j would get compared. So I is equal to 0, j is equal to 1, means these two values would get compared. Okay, now the condition is true here because this 35 is greater than 30, so we have to apply the swapping. Okay, so the swapping logic would get applied, temp would be 35, and after the swapping this will be the array elements. Okay, so this is the first iteration of the inner for loop. Now the value of j would get incremented, so now it is 2. Okay, so AWS 0, i's value is still 0 and j would be 2, so these two value would get compared, right? And the condition is false. Okay, so this swapping would not get executed. Okay, now j becomes 3, right? So 30 and 60 would get compared, this, right? And the condition is false again, so no swapping. Okay, so that was for the one pass. Okay, and in the next iteration I will be 1 and j will start from the 2, right? So you can perform the remaining passes and see that how this logic works. Okay, so this is how the array certain operations can be performed on the array. Okay, thank you.